Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Indie Music Podcast for alexrainbirdMusic. We are back and thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us today.
Yeah, welcome to another episode. As always, we'll be interviewing an amazing independent artist, and stick around until the end for an exclusive live performance as well. If you want to support us on Patreon, just visit patreon.com/alexrainbirdmusic, where you'll be able to watch this episode and all past and future episodes as well, plus loads more rewards.
We have such a big and exciting episode today. We can't wait. It's with possibly one of the most recognisable bands from Alex Rainbird Music. They've been a very important part of our lives for a long, long time now. We've shared almost all of their songs over the years. Just some of them you may recognise. Sleepwalking, Treehouse, Hope You Do, and Growing Up is quite a recent single as well. So please welcome Montana, Brad and Adrian from Cinders.
Hey.
I'm here.
How you guys doing?
Oh, we've been great.
It's going well.
All good.
Brilliant.
Been a while, guys. It's been a
Been
while.
too long.
Yeah. Just, I want to throw in a cool thing. My Facebook memories popped up. And 4 years ago yesterday was when you guys left from meeting us the first time.
Wow.
Oh, that's so sweet.
4 years. That's amazing.
What a weird experience that was, but we'll get into that. Just to start off, do you want to introduce yourselves and tell everyone where you're from and your roles in the band and all that?
Our name's Cinders, obviously. We've been blessed to be on the channel a bunch of times over the last 5 years or so.
And we're blessed to be on the podcast. Don't lie, dude.
And blessed to be on the podcast. It's awesome already. Been doing music since 2015. We kind of got started, and 2016 was when we really got going. And that's around the time that we met you guys. And we're about to come out with a new album. We're really excited for that. I'm sure we'll be talking about that more, but that's a small intro to us.
And they're from Utah, guys. Everyone listening.
Utah, Salt Lake City.
United States.
I'm the singer and I play guitar, and then Adrian, go for it.
I'm Adrian. I play bass in the band.
But he's really good at everything. But he just
live now. I'm playing keys too, and guitar one song.
He plays keys. He does backup vocals. He plays bass.
What a guy! Honestly,
what can't he do?
Oh, slide whistle. That's my new instrument in the band.
My name's Brad. I have the most important role of the band, which is playing drums, and that's it. So that's me.
So to start, do you guys just want to speak about how you all met and why you decided to become a band?
Adrian's good at that one.
Yeah, dude, I'd love to tell you guys how we all met. The joking answer we like to tell everyone is we met on Tinder. But how it really happened was Montana and I went to high school together. We had some mutual friends, but we didn't really know each other too well. We knew of each other through the music scene at our school. And then Brad, we met through Instagram. We messaged him one day because we were following him, and we were like, hey, we're looking for a drummer. Do you want to come audition? We have some people auditioning, but he was the only person that came, and he joined the band. Yeah. But he's the only person we asked either, so it's not like we got ghosted by everyone. It was just Brad. We knew.
The very first words that he told us is when he showed up to the door, we opened the door, and he said, I need to pee.
and that's when you knew he was your drummer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when they knew that I was going to be the most honest person they ever met.
True. That's it.
Yeah, amazing. We first featured your music in October 2015.
Wow.
That is that long ago.
That's mad.
With I Could Do Better, which is coming close to 6 years now that we last featured. Well, the first time that we featured you guys. Also, fun fact, it was actually one of the first songs that Alex showed me that got me interested in the channel. So that's pretty special.
It is, yeah.
We go back a very long way. How were things for Cinders back then when you first started? Let's start from the beginning.
I think it's a lot less bedroomy, if that makes sense, because our first EP that had I Could Do Better on it was recorded in my bedroom, 4 feet from my bed. And it's weird to see what those 4 songs have done, because that includes I Call It Home, which just barely passed 1 million streams on Spotify, which is super cool. And so it's weird to see what those songs have been able to do, having been recorded just in a bedroom, you know?
Yeah.
And so back then we were taking literally every show we could possibly take, where we were playing at like the local venues every single week and just playing nonstop shows over and over and over again. And we probably sounded horrible, but at least people knew who we were.
Yeah.
And we're now so we've got this nice studio. We're
hopefully better.
I do have to say, you know, when I first joined the band, I was like the odd one out. Like everyone has known each other and like went to school. And it was like kind of weird. And then now I'm like, okay, yeah, it's been like 6 years. I think we're good friends now. And the dynamic's a little bit better. It was mostly just the first week that it was awkward, but you know.
Of course, yeah.
I'll say to go back to that too, what's different with it then versus now, like kind of to tie into what Brad was saying is a lot of us weren't super, super close. Like we all were sort of friends, but when we first started touring, we weren't lucky enough to have a van or anything like that. So we'd have to bring 3 to 4 separate cars to travel across the country. And you got to really know the other person you were driving with after sitting in the car with them for, 8 hours. Montana and I, like I said, we didn't really know each other super well, but him and I were the ones that paired up driving together across the country. One is just me and him in his car. And now I'd like to think we're decent friends now.
I also have to bring up, I think Adrian was the only one with like good style when we first started playing. And the rest of us, like everyone just kind of picked each other apart. Everyone had their things. It was just like, looked weird. Like I didn't like how we looked. It was like, we just looked like nerds for some reason. I don't know. So I hope we've improved a little bit and stuff, but everyone's just able to be themselves and express themselves in what they want. I think we kind of went through a cycle where we were telling everyone what to wear and that's not good either. And so now I think we have a little bit of a look and a little bit of a style. So.
Do you guys still do the thing where when you play live, you all wear black?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what Brad's referring to, like where we kind of just decided, okay, everyone's doing this exact same thing.
Yeah.
And we started getting really bored of it because it's like, all right, which black shirt am I going to wear to this show? And there's a video that we put up that Brad roasted me for wearing slippers to a couple shows.
Wow.
Slippers with
Adrian, you don't wear shoes.
I used to not wear shoes. So another thing that changed, I used to not wear shoes. I used to play in a hardcore band before Cinders started. And that was kind of the cool thing to not wear shoes playing hardcore music. And every single show I wouldn't wear shoes. And then one day on both of my feet, I don't know, you guys don't have $50 out in the UK, but we have these really big coins called $50 out here that I had blisters on the bottom of my feet that size. And Montana and I were driving home and he says, you either need to get used to this now and just get over all these blisters you're going to get or start wearing shoes again, one or the other. And I was like, all right, I'm going to wear shoes.
You're at the moment where you have to decide what you're going to do because whatever it is, you have to stick with.
Oh, like the Boy Scout shirt.
That
Dude,
too,
yeah. I wore a Boy Scout shirt for our first album release show, but we're learning and growing.
Yeah, of course.
I love that's a whole 10-minute talk just about this clothes you wore.
Yes.
That's brilliant. So a couple of years later, in the summer of 2017, we finally visited Utah for the first time and met up with you guys. To be honest, we were so nervous that day, weren't we? We went to a Chick-fil-A together on that first day, and it was like, that whole trip was just amazing. Some of our favourite memories ever. And that's also when we had our first experience of a Cinders live show. It's always such a blast watching you guys. You're so good at interacting with the crowd as well. Adrian jumps up and down like a maniac. Brad's behind the drums, standing up and doing his thing. And Montana's getting into the crowd and getting everyone to sing along. And it's just so special. So how did that all start? And did that sort of come naturally to you guys?
No.
There's this theory about, making sure people have a 9 or 10 experience with something or they won't come back. And, there's also we just want to have so much fun. And we used to always say go hard or go home. It's such a cliche phrase.
Or we're not friends anymore. He left out.
Or we're not friends anymore. Yeah. But we just, at first we would watch these other bands and we would just kind of think, man, it's just kind of boring. Like they're just standing there.
Don't mention any names.
Oh, we're not mentioning any names.
We just all said to each other, like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to be boring for a second. And so we are always trying to think of fun, cool things we can do. And if we can't think of something fun, we just go as crazy and hard as we can because it's more entertaining than standing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is.
We definitely want the fans in the crowd to enjoy and have fun at the night, right? Like if we are looking at the crowd and they don't look like they're enjoying it, our energy just gets sapped from it. And so we love, like, nope, you don't feel comfortable getting into the music unless the band is as well. And so we just decided that if we want the crowd to enjoy the show, we also have to enjoy the show as well and not just stand there and play the music, because anybody can go into their car and blast the music as loud as they want to. The difference of seeing it live is being able to watch it as well. And so you have to create a show there as well.
Yeah.
On top of what Brad and Montana said is, you know, we're not some huge famous international rock star arena selling band. Music's a really expensive hobby that is, you know, we're not, you know, out making a bunch of money out on the road. So it's too time consuming and expensive to be miserable, you know, like there's nothing better in the world than going and hanging out with your best friends and seeing new places and getting to play music. Right. So like we like to outwardly express how grateful we are for the opportunity to be able to do that too. So that's what we like to project through our stage show.
We like to pretend there's 10,000 people watching us, even when there's like 4 people awkwardly standing there with their dog, and we're just like jumping around and like, sing it with me. It's like so crazy because that's what we like to do. So I like that, Adrian.
I mean, like, we've seen a lot of like indie shows and like a lot of like artists, and you guys are the best for that.
Thank you.
You know, energy and the performance that you put into it. And all of that. And I remember the first time that we went to, like, the first Cinders show we went to, and you guys had this like amazing like curtain, and you were like all like really excited about it, and it was like you said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this curtain like dropped, and it was like so dramatic, but it was just so Cinders and so amazing, wasn't it? Yeah, it's like the best thing.
I want to flex Montana's family for that. The whole reason how that curtain came around is Montana's brother Jimmy rigged
no. Let me tell the story because you're already saying it wrong.
Oh, sorry.
My cousin, we went to Walmart and got a remote control car, and he Jimmy rigged the car into the steering mechanism into the ability to release a spring-loaded contraption, whatever you call it, that rotated a bar that would release the curtain because it would. It's just whatever I was there helping him, and I was just like his assistant standing behind him, a shadow the entire time, because I was like, I have no idea what you're doing, but it's working, so keep going.
And shout out Wendy Smith, she sewed the whole curtain. Thank you, Montana's mom.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And who else would do that but Cinders? Go to all the effort just to make a curtain fall down for like the first 2 seconds. It's just
Montana's mom is our biggest supporter by far. Shout out Wendy Smith.
Nice.
I do have to give a lot of credit to Montana. He's the one that really like kind of takes these ideas and makes them real with our shows. You know, it's like Adrian and I'll joke and be like, yeah, that would be so cool to like have confetti, or that would be so cool to like have some cool lights. And Montana's like, he's the one who's like, I bought these lights, I programmed this stuff, we got the curtain ready, the curtain drop's gonna happen, I bought the confetti machine, I got the fog. Like, Montana is a go-getter when it comes to live, and
he makes it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's gotten a lot of that inspiration from 21 Pilots. You know, when they were a small band, they still put on an amazing show. Like, there's no reason you should have the mentality of, I'm going to wait till I'm bigger of a band and playing bigger venues to do these fun things. Like, why not just do them now? You know?
Yeah, definitely.
You don't have to be a fan of 21 Pilots to watch their show and think it's incredible. Like, they, you know, it's more than the music for their show, is they just want to put on a show. And so people have been like, when I come up with ideas like with the lights and with the stuff where it's like, that's just too much effort. Like we don't need to put in that much effort. And it's just like,
we do.
It's just funny because it's like, why not? Let's put in literally as much effort and energy as humanly possible so that people will remember the show like they do with other concerts, other arena type shows where they're like, man, that was a show.
So you could say we go big or go home, or we're not friends anymore.
Which grammatically doesn't even make any sense.
Well, it works. Do you know what I mean? Everything you do, it makes it memorable. And every single time we go to a Cinders show, we have like high standards now because we know you guys just kill it every time.
No pressure.
As soon as the stage is big enough, we'll be having flamethrowers going up on the sides.
Oh, 100%. And mark my words, my pant leg will catch on fire. Yeah.
Right.
It's hard when we do these weird, crazy things to like, okay, how do we step that up at the next show? Because then 10 shows later, it's like, what can we do now that won't set the building on fire?
Okay, well, personally, guys, I think the success of your second album, Looking Forward to Looking Back, which released in 2018, was all down to mine and Alex's incredible backing vocals.
Oh, true. 100%. 100%.
For everyone that's listening that doesn't have a clue what I'm going on about, Cinders asked us to record some backing vocals for a few of the songs in their home studio.
It was so cool.
We've never done anything like that before, but it was such a cool experience. And then they actually invited us to like a fan sing along on the album too, and that was like such a special thing like for you guys to do, but it was also such a special thing for us to experience. What song was it for? Because we had to shout.
It was for loads of them. I think 100
There was
Foxes,
a bunch of them. There was Gigantic, Sleepwalking.
And I was just imagining Montana in the other room, like listening to us.
Oh
like,
God, this is horrible.
So, yeah, exactly. A quick little thing with that. We hadn't finished one of the songs yet, and so you guys recorded it, and we realized the key didn't sound good, so we changed the key, and we had to go super T-Pain auto-tune on your guys' vocals and move it to the next key.
But anyway, the question to this one was, how was that experience for you guys? Because that's, fan experiences are cool anyway, but to actually get them to sing on an album, how was that?
I think I think it meant more to us than it meant more to the fans. Because to have someone appreciate your music enough to take time out of the day to come help out recording, like we didn't pay anyone, we didn't do anything. We literally had a pizza party with our friends to come, sing vocals on the record. And that, seriously, I think I can speak for all of us with saying like, there's nothing cooler than that. We wanted to do it again for this new record, but then, 2020 happened.
Yeah.
But I think if it was up to us, we would do that on every single record just because it makes it way more personable. Because imagine hanging out with a band you like and say, check out this song, like I'm on this song. And to us, we're like, check out this song, like our friends and fans are on this song. Like that's so cool to us. We went on tour with another band from out here in the States and we told them about that and they're like, wow, like we need to steal that idea. That's so cool. So
yeah, I'm still trying to hear myself on the songs. I'm like,
you can hear
British
it.
We can hear ourselves. Yeah.
accent in there.
Yeah.
Let's do an Alex Rainbird playlist of just you guys singing along with the song.
True. Just re-recordings of you guys doing our whole songs. You could play all the instruments.
We'll post the songs with all the vocals muted except yours on Patreon or something.
Yes.
No one's going to pay for that.
I'd pay for that.
You never know.
I love the experience. Honestly, there's always like a little amount of awkwardness because there's so many people that have never sung in there before, but it also just like makes this really cool experience because I still remember my first experience when Montana was like, yeah, go in the booth and sing this part. And I was like, what? I'm not going to do that. And he's like, yeah, like we'll edit it to sound good if it doesn't sound good. And just going in there, you put your headphones on, the microphone, like it's such a rad experience. And I just remember that being so awesome. And then being able to watch you guys do that as well as some of the fans, I was excited for you guys. I was like, they're just having this awesome experience. And so I do hope it is as memorable as I think it would be, because it's definitely makes you feel like, this legit awesome musician, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, the fan one was like really like cool, like really special, like to experience with all of the fans, but then to actually go into like the little like black
little
room
blue, yeah.
and actually just me and Alex stand there and just think, oh my god, like, what are we doing? Text my mum and I was like, I want a Cinders song.
Dude, shout out
so
Beth's mom,
excited.
dude.
One of the biggest things that all of us have experienced together was the only, so far, sadly, but hopefully more in the future, Alex Rainbird live show in London back in 2019. To give people listening some background, we were lucky enough to get the opportunity to organise a show in London. And as you can imagine, Cinders were the first band that came to mind to ask for it.
100%.
Yeah, and it's funny because we all made a promise in 2017. We
Not sure
visited.
if you guys remember this. Surely you do.
I remember.
We did, yeah. We made a promise that Cinders would be in the UK within 2 years, and we literally made it happen pretty much.
Made it happen.
To the day. They stayed with us in the UK. We showed them around London, and they also performed in Brighton and Southampton as well in the UK. So you guys, how was that all for you? And can you actually believe you've done a mini tour of the UK?
No.
Wow.
It's one of those things where you have to go back and like look at pictures to believe that it was real.
Yeah.
Because it was just so much fun. The crazy long flight, all of us being we had to walk how long? Like 3 miles with all of our
In the middle of the
In the
night
dark,
after
yeah.
flying across the world.
in November. It was freezing, and so we had to go all the way across. Where was that? What city?
It was in Brighton.
That's
Brighton, yeah.
Brighton.
Also, we didn't know we were on the ocean side either. We woke up the next morning. We were like, that was what we were walking next to. But real quick, to cut you off real quick, we want to thank you guys because that wouldn't have been a thing without the Alex Rainbird Music Festival and you guys setting that up. So thank you so much again. But you guys made it happen that 2 years. But sorry, continue, Montana. I just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, like we actually had I don't know if we ever actually told you this, but we made a bottle opener that we engraved a bunch of milestones on, like releasing our second album, playing certain shows, doing certain things, and then we were going to pop open like a Martinelli's type thing for every time that we accomplished one of those. One of them on there was fly to a gig.
It didn't even mean across the world. It could have been in the same state.
Yeah.
Sounds like a weird thing to have on there, but we were excited to be able to knock one of those things off the list because flying to a gig is such a unique thing because like we had to bring a bunch of as much as we could along with us. Mm-hmm. We had like suitcases where we were cramming our pedal boards into. We had guitar cases that were like Adrian's bass case was just barely too big, so we had to pay like an extra $100 to get it checked.
Each way.
Brad had to have his snare drum at his feet. And so the entire, like, how long was the flight? Like 12 hours or something like that?
14 from LA.
He was like straddling this snare drum at his feet. And, but it was the best experience ever being able to fly to a gig, like I said. And
I just wanted to say, I've been drumming since I was 12. And when I was like 14 or 15, like I always told myself, I'd love to just travel the world with a band. Like my first time out of the country better be like, because of music. And my family didn't travel that much. Like our vacations were just still in Utah, like southern Utah and everything. And even later on in life, in my early 20s, I still had never left the country and had that goal. And so thanks to you guys, the first time I had to get a passport to leave the country was to play a show. And so it was a dream come true that had been in the works for over 10 years type of thing for me. So that was awesome.
It's so special. Well, it was extremely special, like for us. And as soon as we found out about it, I'm not even just saying it because you're here right now, but you guys knew that you were like, I'm number one. We like told you straight away, that it was going to happen.
We would not have missed that. We would have all quit our jobs because we still work day jobs. We would have all dropped everything. I don't even think it was a question.
I'll be honest, logistically, there was only a 50% chance we did it. Like, we kept talking about how we might have to bail. It might not work out and stuff like that. But then everyone in the band just kept saying, like, we will literally do anything to make sure this happens.
Yeah. We actually, just a quick little interjection. We actually lost our van about a week before we flew out. And that was even can we even make it to our flight? And we had to literally stuff everything that we are bringing for the rest of our West Coast tour and for England to sit with us the rest of the time. Like, the universe did not want it to work out, but we were like, we're not going to let this pass us by.
Yeah, because I remember you messaging about the van, and me and Alex were there like, we've got a concert, it's sold out, we've got posters, Cinders have to be there now.
Yeah. We made it work. But it took some.
Yeah.
And also, pretty lucky. We keep saying this, but pretty lucky with the timing of it, because like the pandemic hit a few months afterwards.
Lucky.
So
yeah, we're saying the Canyon City, weren't we? Like, how do we pull that off?
Yeah.
How did bands come across the world for this thing in London?
Mad.
And it was awesome meeting the other bands that we played with, All Faces in Canyon City. They were awesome people, really awesome songwriters.
Obviously, you've toured large parts of the US as well, though last year kind of that had to be put on hold because of the pandemic. You've also had to adjust over the years from 6 members to now there being 3 of you. So we were just wondering how you've managed these changes and how you've kept sane over the year when there's been no shows and you've had quite a lot of like uncertainty as well.
Drugs.
I'll answer that one. I think that it was, in my opinion, it came at the perfect time. Like, I know it's like pandemic, you can't play shows, and we lost members. It seems like a perfect storm. But for me, it kind of hit at the perfect time because we were able to spend a lot of time in the studio and kind of figure out who we were as a band more in depth. And as we worked together and wrote songs as a 3-piece, we became closer friends, which made us closer as a band as well, and came out of the pandemic even better than we went in, which is probably the opposite of what you'd expect.
Yeah.
I
did expect the opposite, actually.
Yeah, to kind of add to that, to be honest, it's not as much of a party because there's less people. It's always going to be more of a party with more people, but it's more intimate, it's more personal. I feel like we've had to, each person has really had to step up on responsibilities, and it helped us to just kind of look at ourselves and say, is this what I really want to do? Are we going to keep pushing this? And it was an awesome way to really recommit the 3 of us to saying like it's going to happen. Cinders can still be Cinders, and we can still write good music. We can still do a good job. Like, we can still do this. And we always say, no matter how bad if something happens, we think it's meant to happen for the better type of thing. And so as sucky as a lot of the parts were, like Montana said, I think it was best for the band and perfect for us and perfect for this next album and everything. So
yeah,
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's right.
Like that one. Everything happens for a reason.
We always anytime anything, like, even as like super minor, anything bad happens, we always think, okay, what's something good that this could,
what's this gonna bring?
Like, if we get held up in traffic, it's like, oh, it's probably because we'd actually get in a car accident if we were ahead of
that
time.
show, man.
There was one time where we were on our way home from a show at like midnight, and Adrian never says this, but for some reason he was feeling anxiety with how fast I was driving. So he's like, hey, can we slow down just a little bit? We were going through this crazy canyon. So like, yeah, totally. And then as we got out of the canyon and got onto the freeway, there was this crazy accident where there was an oncoming truck that was on the wrong side of the freeway. Yeah. And so there was a head-on collision. And it was before there was ambulances. Like, it literally happened like 20 seconds before we got to that section of the freeway.
The car was like on fire. Like,
the car was on fire. Crazy. But like, knowing that could have been, you know what I mean? Like, those little situations, that butterfly effect to a better situation is how we always try to look at.
Adrian saved your life.
Yeah. I never get the anxiety, and I look over, I'm like white knuckling the whole thing.
It's like Final Destination. Have you seen Final Destination? It's like that kind of thing.
So,
wow.
really boring version.
We're just avoiding death to this day.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that all life is? Is just really avoiding deathly situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just really glad that you've just got through it, and
So it hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it.
Mm.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we know like lots of bands that have just gone quiet or sort of like have slowly like drifted apart because it's just a tough time, isn't it, for everybody when you can't leave the house and just
Can't
like,
see each other.
Can't see each other. Yeah, but it's really good to know that you guys fought
Come
through
back
it and
stronger.
are back with a bang. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we even did Zoom writing sessions because we like, just like everyone, were like, how can we do anything? You know, we can't see anyone, but we were still meeting several times a week through Zoom, being like, okay, let's write music, because we're all fortunate enough to have our instruments in like a small recording setup at our own homes. So we were like, how can we still grow? You know, we sat on Zoom. We're like, let's flesh out these ideas together. So
yeah, some of the best parts of this future album came from those sessions, and they were difficult because, you know, Brad would have an idea on drums and he'd be like trying to explain. He's like, just hold on, and he mutes himself and goes and records it, and then he has to, you know, upload it to the drive, and I have to download it and to be able to finally and put it into the mix and be able to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
But in the end, we got some of our favorite parts from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, on a more positive note, Cinders are back in 2021. So to summarise some of the things you've been up to, you released Growing Up earlier this year, which is so fun,
Such
so
a great
catchy.
tune.
And you made a music video for that song with Ted the teddy bear, and you watch him grow up and get a job in a little office in a suit. It's so good.
It's like the cutest, most... I've never been so emotionally attached to a bear in all my life.
I know.
It is so good. And we watched it again yesterday. So for anyone that's listening that hasn't checked that out, go check it out.
Growing
Because
Up music video. Yeah.
it's so good.
So good. And then for your next single, Afternoon, you flew to LA and worked with Josh Radnor, the actor, musician, to film a music video featuring Abigail Spencer for that song. So, and then you've released a bunch of stuff since. So how's it all been going for you this year?
Awesome. I mean, it's been hard with COVID, but we're all, you know, just very anxious to get this album out because, like you said earlier, it's been since 2018 since our last record, which seems like it was forever away with the pandemic happening. But we've been all very, very fortunate, and, you know, try to reflect on how lucky we've been to see this growth through this new record and whatnot. And to flex you guys, Josh Radnor found us because his friend heard last year's Winter on an Alex Rainbird playlist. So thank you for that.
No way.
Really?
Yeah. Shout out.
Wow.
Alex
And that was
Rainbird
ages
playlist.
ago as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really long time.
I'll say that when we did go to LA, it was like everyone makes jokes that I'm the shortest one in the band, obviously, but and it's the worst because like when on stage you don't notice, but then once we're up like taking pictures, Brad's like up here on.
Brad, let's just go stand really close to Montana on stage every show. Let's set up as close as we can. Sup, dude?
I'll just be down here. When we were out there, it's not like they're tall or anything, but I just remember feeling like just so short next to them because of how cool they are. Josh Radnor and Abigail Spencer, like they're just the coolest,
nicest.
Like I can't describe them any better than just sweethearts. And I know that's not like a great way, but like that's just how it feels. And their presence is like they just demand a lot of respect. And so I just felt so short walking around the set. And like seeing Abigail work and like, cause she choreographed the whole thing, I think with one of her friends, but, just seeing her dance around, like they would just say, okay, here's the song, go type of thing. And she would just dance around the entire house and just do crazy stuff. And it was so fun watching her to, be there watching those two work and be in their elements and that.
Oh, and the professionalism. I just want to say how thankful too with that because, I mean, I'm sure neither of them will listen to this, but we got the opportunity. We hung out with Josh after and got some food, and she was going to come and she was like, you know what, guys, like, I don't mean to be rude, but I need to go chill. Today was actually my day off. I have to go work all day tomorrow. And she worked her freaking butt off all day. Like, I was tired watching her. So let alone doing all that. So just like, how much work and how professional they were was unbelievable. It was so cool.
Yeah. I wish we were there. That would have been so cool to see you guys there with them.
You know, next time we work with Josh Radnor, You know,
get us over there.
Yeah.
Get us over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to answer, because the question was, how are we doing this year? Like, we got totally sidetracked.
Yeah, so much has happened.
Right?
Yeah. I think, we're to describe Cinders in the year 2021 would be hungry. Hungry for growth, hungry for
lunch
progression, for more
hungry
shows, for everything. Chick-fil-A. We get Chick-fil-A quite regularly, so
yeah, it's just so awesome to see you guys doing everything that you've been doing recently, especially. But yeah, actually that ties us in nicely. Your latest single is called Rock Bottom, which is another amazing track.
Thank you.
So good.
Incredible.
Yeah, we love it.
I mean, you guys do it every time, you guys can hear them performing that one later. Could you just tell us a bit more about that song and like the meaning behind it and all of that?
I made a joke that it's about Brad after he does squats, about his rock bottom.
That's brilliant.
That's
so it's not what we're going to stay with. The whole meaning behind the song doesn't matter. It's just Brad's raw card squatting butt.
It is his rock bottom.
That is brilliant. I'll never like unsee that now when I'm listening to the song.
You just see Brad.
If I see the title, it's just his butt. No, but it's I mean, we've talked about what the song is about already on the podcast. After having this really challenging year with a lot of ups and downs,
Mostly downs.
Mostly down. Yeah, it's more downs than ups. And when there's very few things to look at that brings positivity into your mentality, it's easy to get hung up on those things and just feel like they're weighing you down and you're stuck in them and there's no escaping them, type of thing. And so we wanted to write a song about it that didn't feel like a downer. We don't whenever we write sad songs, it's very rare that the music also sounds sad, because we don't want to be double sad. And so we always have a hopeful mentality on that sad stuff, and trying to, like, one of the lines says, swaying left to right, I know that I'm fine, I'm all right, I'm on my feet and I'm still alive. Just talking about how there's always something positive to pull out of any situation, and it's a fun song to dance to. And so it's easy to get bogged down, but if you can just drop that and dance along to whatever music you listen to, type of thing, it can bring that positivity back into those situations.
Wow. Bit taken aback.
All teared up.
Just trying that, yeah.
I'll cool you down, yeah.
Yeah, you should talk about the jazz part.
So with kind of how we write, sometimes we'll have a song and we don't have a bridge yet, or we don't have a second verse, and Montana will either just like leave it blank in the song, or he'll have like something small in there just keeping a beat, or like a little bit of guitar. And we didn't have a bridge for this song, and it was just totally quiet. And so whenever I go down and like would write drums for it, sometimes in those quiet parts I just write random drums. Like with Treehouse, the second verse I go into like a completely different beat than the first one. And it was the same thing. I just like kept playing drums when it was silent, and then we ended up using them. And with this one, I had already sent him a few different ideas that I liked that went along with what was there. And so on this one demo, I just decided to play this like jazz beat just for fun, thinking like he's going to delete it anyways. And so I sent him that demo, kind of like waiting for him to be like, hey, that was so funny, that jazz. And then I deleted it. But then instead, like next time I talked to him, he's like, yeah, that jazz thing you did, I ended up like writing this whole jazz part for it. And I was just like, oh, really? And he just went full in, like the group vocals were just so, what is that, 50s, 60s or something? But it was awesome, and it just changes the dynamic of the song. It really pulls you away to experience something new. And yeah, I thought it was the coolest thing, but it was mostly supposed to be a joke. But I mean,
you like messing around.
Writing music's supposed to be fun, so yeah.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
It's fun because Adrian actually studied jazz composition in college, and so I told him, I was like, hey, we need some crazy jazz chords on this, and he pulled out some really crazy jazz stuff, and the bass line that he did is really fun because there's nothing like complex about it, but it's just straight up pulled out from inspiration from those old stuff. It's a bass line you could easily hear in any 40s or 50s song, and it just perfectly worked in the song.
Yes, so all of these singles are leading up to the release of your third full-length album, No One's Home, which is releasing Friday the 27th of August, which is really soon by the time this goes out. Do you want to speak about, I guess we kind of have covered this, but if there's anything you haven't said about the writing process for that one and how the unreleased songs have been going?
Adrian?
Awesome. It's been hard. That's like we said before, it's been really hard to write this record just because of the pandemic and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's also been beneficial too without having those shows, because a lot of the times, like we played that single Afternoon at the Alex Rainbird live event, but it was very different than anything we have now. And that's kind of how our old writing process used to go, which was, we'd be touring and whatnot, and hey, we have this idea, let's just play it a couple times live and let's try and hash out the ideas. But we didn't have that availability with this record. We had to really be introspective of this part's really cool, this part's not so cool, and listen to it a bunch of times ourselves. So I think that's been really good with the writing process to hone into our own sound more, as opposed to just how fans react to the songs, and write stuff that we feel a lot more confident in ourselves.
Yeah.
And with our unreleased songs, like the writing process behind it, one of them I'm excited for. Montana challenged me and he said, hey, like we were listening to Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys, and we were like, that's one of the coolest guitar riffs ever. And Montana said, I want you to write a part that if someone was to go into a music lesson, they would say, I want to learn this first. And I was like, well, no freaking pressure there, man. Jeez. And it ended up, I'm not even going to say what song it is, but it ended up being one of these unreleased songs.
It will be the first on the album, though.
Hint, hint.
Jeez, Montana. No, but so it's a lot of stuff where we put challenges on ourselves, like on to Brad of writing, that jazz part, or to Montana writing something that he's never, been so vulnerable before. We really put more emphasis of ourselves into these, especially just this whole record as a whole. But on some of these new songs, there's I don't want to say like the saddest songs, because I think, like Montana touched on earlier, we have sad songs, but I think some of our most vulnerable songs haven't come out yet.
Well, and I guess it's really exciting to finally play them live soon, and you can finally see the reaction and see what everyone thinks of them. Yeah.
Brad talked about in another conversation we were having earlier, someone asked, what's that moment going to be like when your first show is done coming back from the pandemic? And I think Brad worded it very well, where he just said, we're probably all going to be crying, just like from how great it's been and how long it's been. And just to get to do that again is going to be so spectacular.
And you have your album release show. Is that the day after the album comes out?
Day after, 28th of August.
Is there tickets left for that?
Some. Get them quick, because...
So if you're listening and you're in...
left for that? Or what? I don't think
we do have some people flying in, so...
No but how far? Surely not,
not England
Europe.
Far, but my mom's flying in from Florida, so that's pretty far.
We have one from Seattle.
Seattle, yeah.
Nice. I mean, if we were in America, we'd be there, no doubt, wouldn't we? So.
Excuses. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I was just going to say, if you're in America or if you're near the Utah area and you want to see Cinders, and I'm so jealous, whoever's going, but grab your tickets now.
You will not regret it,
yeah.
Absolutely.
No pressure, thanks, guys.
Yeah, you better put on a good show.
No pressure. Since we've got 3 of you here today, we actually thought it'd be quite fun if we play a little game. Awesome. So we decided that we'd give you all an album from Cinders. So Brad, you get the first one, and you need to tell us your favourite track from that album and why. Adrian, for you, we've picked the second album. Looking forward to looking back. And Montana, you get the last one. No One's Home. So what are your favourite... You get one song each from the album that we've selected. But Brad, you go first.
That's a tough one.
And why? Sorry, and why?
That's a really hard question.
Yeah,
I know, but we had to get a little game in there.
A hard tie between two. But if I had to pick
only get one, dude.
I would pick
mention both.
So I could do better. The reason I like I Could Do Better was this is the first song that I heard when I was like looking into Cinders to see if I wanted to play with them. It wasn't done. It was a demo, but musicians out there, when you're looking for bands and you're like, yeah, send me some of your songs. Like, they're so bad. Like, so many bands, I had been looking and like they send you their music and I was like, no, like I don't like this. It's not interesting. Whatever. I don't want to say bad things, I guess. But when Cinders had sent me, I think they sent me like 2 or 3 songs to learn. And when I listened to I Could Do Better, my first thought was, this song is actually good. Like, I would listen to this song. And it got me so excited about the band because I had jammed with a lot of people. I had, been looking around for a long time. And so, I spent a lot of time learning that in the next day because I was rehearsing with them the day after, whatever. But it's the song that reminds me of the hope I had in Cinders before I was even a part of Cinders, and so that's why I would pick I Could Do Better. And it's really fun live because everyone just goes nuts. We would always put like everyone's hands on everyone's shoulders, and everyone goes down during that intro.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It has a lot of meaning to me for the band, and it gets me excited about where we've come from and where we're going. So.
Do you want to guess my one? The first album?
Do I want to guess your one?
Yeah.
Same. I Could Do Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of the memories
exactly
and stuff.
Same.
Yeah.
It's the memories for me. I get emotional thinking about it. Like I just go back to like a young Adrian going "Sup Dudes" the first time we were in Utah, and it just brings back so many memories for me. That song. That's like the first Cinders. I feel like it was the first one that I heard.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first Cinders song I ever heard. The first song we
featured and the first one I showed you. And
so me and Brad have got that connection. Well done, Brad.
It's the first Cinders song I ever heard too, because it was the first Cinders song ever written.
Hey.
There you go.
Was it?
Yeah, that was back in like 2014. I didn't have any words yet, but I just had written the whole intro, and that was the first song. It wasn't even for Cinders at the time. It was just a song I was putting together for fun, and it turned into a Cinders song. So yes, it was the first Cinders song ever recorded.
Heck yeah.
Wow. I actually listened to it again earlier, and it just gave me all of the like feels. I was like,
You were sobbing uncontrollably, weren't you, by that point? Yeah. Okay, Adrian.
Cool. Like Brad, I do have 2 of them. Brad didn't mention his second one, but I'm going to mention.
You can only pick one.
Okay. If I can only pick one, I think I'd have to pick. Dang it, Brad. I'd have to pick Illinois.
You can do an honorable mention.
I'll do an honorable mention. Okay, so the one I'd pick is Illinois, just because I feel like that was one of the first songs we had that had a really big group sing-along part. And when we played that on our second album release show, we had played it a few times before then, so the crowd knew the lyrics, and all the lights went out. I actually have a video of this saved on my phone because I don't play in the intro, and I just recorded the crowd, and just hearing everyone sing along to that sing along part, I was like literally just tearing up because, like I said earlier, it's like having people care about what you created is the coolest feeling in the world. And then the second, my honorable mention would definitely be Sleepwalking. That is my dog. She is probably going to run up right here.
Let's see.
So
wait, I think I follow her on Instagram.
You probably do follow her on Instagram. My honorable mention would be Sleepwalking because
in fact, I'm surprised that wasn't your favorite one.
It's like I said, they're tied for first, and Brad made me Brad made me choose one, but it's my honorable mention A, just because it's so fun to play live.
Yeah.
But B, because you guys are on it, which is sick. But also when we filmed the music video for it, we did the same thing where we just put out on Instagram, hey, like, if you guys want to come help us be in a music video, like, we rented this park out all day. Come hang out. And so we had all of our friends be in the music video.
I want to know Alex's favorite from the first, and then both of their favorite from the second.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I might have a quick look at see what the first one is.
Oh, he doesn't even remember what's on there.
I want to have a full consideration.
Yeah,
I don't want to miss
course.
anything. So
You've got them all just
I'll look
blended
for the
together.
second.
That's a tough one. Oh, I think it's going to be I Hope You Do. I
Nice.
think. Not for the
Yeah.
first. Yeah. I think the ending, like, especially live, is just so, like, everyone's like...
It's insane.
Is it still the
live.
last song you play live?
No, we actually for a while stopped playing it live, which is really weird. But we were trying to focus more on the second
Newer
album,
stuff,
and so we pulled it out. But for this next show, we actually put it back into the set, and we
Yes.
have that Nana part in towards the end. We actually extend that, and I think it's doubled.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's just gonna make it like over the top dramatic, and so I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah. I like that one.
Can you guys guess
I'll
each
say my
other's
second.
favorites for the second?
I know what Bess is.
No, you don't, because I've got 3.
Oh, you can only pick one,
Really?
Beth.
Yeah, because they're all for different reasons. Like, I can't... Come on, Alex, you've got to pick one.
I think Sleepwalking. And I know that's definitely one of your favourites.
Yeah. Sleepwalking or The Moon.
Ooh.
Love that one.
For
or
us-
Never Want to Go Home as well, which I feel like is a very underrated one. Never Want to Go Home.
Thank you.
And I like that one because you played that when we were there, and it was like, oh my god, like we really don't want to go home, and you were like singing it to us, and we were
And
going
you're
home
on
a
it.
few days up.
That's the one that we had to auto-tune you guys.
Absolute cheek.
Yeah,
innit?
because we changed the key. No, it's not your singing. We just
Oh,
changed the
yeah,
keys after
yeah.
writing it.
We had to bump it up, so instead of singing normally, you guys are like, "Never want to go home." Like, yeah,
Oh, I
pitch
love
like, way
it.
up.
Good British accent there, Montana.
yeah, that
That's
was really
great.
good.
Oh, before we leave, Beth needs to do her American accent too.
Oh,
It's been 2 years, guys.
Alex is
loves-
like, oh no.
Please not again.
he hasn't heard that for a while. Yeah. Right. So who was
It
it?
was Montana, I think.
Montana.
Yeah, Montana for
Yeah,
the
Adrian
third
said
record.
his.
My favorite on the new album, No One's Home. I'm going to do an honorable mention too, but my top favorite still hasn't come out yet. I think it's Still Alive.
Yes.
Because that one we just put a ton of work into. It's the final song on the album, so we needed it to be kind of a good climax for the album that finishes the album off right, and we had to go back and forth like 20 different times with how the song ended. We had like this idea that we wanted to try and this, and it just kept going back and forth, and we couldn't figure out how to finish it. And I think the way that we have it right now is the best we could. My honorable mention's got to be Growing Up. Just because of the challenge that it was. We've never written a song in 5/4 for people that understand what that is. But writing lyrics in 5/4 is extremely challenging. And so the ending, the only time that we have lyrics along with the song is the end, the "Why do I owe these things, I'm over this" section. I was just sitting in my room for like hours and hours locked up in there trying to figure out how to get the lyrics to flow in that time signature. And we also have 11 time signature changes throughout the whole song. So it's
Sounds like a prog rock song the way you explain it.
it's the most complex song we've ever written, but we didn't want it to feel that way. So I'm proud of what we accomplished with that song and how it still feels comfortable and listenable while having all those crazy changes throughout the song. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. That was a good.
What about you
name.
guys?
That was good.
Yeah. What about you guys? Do you have a favorite off the new record yet? Because you guys have heard the whole thing now, right?
Oh, they have.
Yeah. I do love Growing Up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think like those 3 new ones you sent like the other day, they're really like, I think over time they'll like be
They'll
up
be your
there.
favourites.
Yeah, because they're really good. Yeah, all of those
Thank you.
3. Yeah.
Oh,
Come
is it
on up.
Lena?
Yeah, Lennon, like John.
Oh, Lennon.
She's just chilling right here.
Oh,
Adorable.
so cute. Actually, final question from us, which sadly, this is also quite a tough question, but what has been your highlight of Cinders so far?
Ooh. From all of us or individually?
Yeah, like individually.
I'm going to have to say the coming to England. I'm going to take that one.
Okay.
Flying across country, being in a completely, because I'm like Brad, I've never been outside of the country either, other than Niagara Falls, which is like literally a half mile out of the country, and then I went back. But I've never been outside the country either, and so doing all that new stuff because of music is definitely a highlight for me. It's something that 10 years ago I never thought would have happened, and so
if I didn't pick anything like that, because honestly that's just such a highlight, away from like all the live stuff, it was honestly an amazing experience for me recording this new record in the studio. So we record and Montana produces everything at our Cinders studio, except drums. We go to this big studio down in Provo called
I'm sorry, Brad. My dog is just...
Nana is going off.
No, you're fine. But I felt so underprepared and inexperienced for our second album. And there's a lot of things on that record that, like, obviously you guys probably can't hear, but things that bugged me. And this record was extremely technically challenging that I'm really proud of, like, everything. And, like, I still remember recording the ending of Still Alive in the studio, because that was the last song we did. It was the coolest experience, like just that feeling of playing it and kind of getting like that, envisioning like me playing this live in front of people. And just the whole experience was amazing. And I love, it just reminds me that like my favorite thing to do is, writing music and playing music. So yeah.
Bit emotional after that one. Adrian, how can you follow that one up?
I don't know. Why do you put me last? Oh my god. So Lennon's gonna join in on this question. Lennon. She's going hard. Sorry. But yeah, all of us definitely would have chose London. I feel, just because that was so cool. But again, to not choose London, man, that's a really hard question. Brad gave such a good answer. I think as probably our first album release show, we played back home, probably because we were, first starting, and we put out those songs the day before our show, and seeing people just sing along and have fun and go hard. There's a video that was in our first music video we put out, Found. And there's this little girl from our album release show, and she's just going so hard. And I was like, man, like if something could describe how I want Cinders to be, is this moment right here. Is this girl just like, she's probably like 10, just ecstatically jumping. And just seeing that in the crowd is just like, I have videos saved from our first album release show, and I recently went back and watched those, and I'm just amazed that, people could care. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's lovely. So, as always, we asked our community too on Instagram and Discord if they had any questions for Cinders, and we got quite a few responses. Let's jump right in.
Yeah. So we had Chicago from Discord. They said, yes, I'm so excited to listen to the next episode. I love their songs. They're so talented. If this question is not already answered, I would like to know what made them choose Cinders as their band name. I would also like to thank them for creating such amazing songs. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, that means a lot.
Go ahead, Montana.
We always, it's not a great story, so we always make up stories that make it sound cooler. But the true story is that back in high school, it was a song that was written that we liked, but it was not, we liked the name, but the song was horrible. There was a group chat once where we just tried to figure out a name, and we would just throw names in over and over and over and over again. And the only one that really stuck was Cinders. And we just love the idea of like underneath the actual part of the fire that you see. And it just, there's a lot of symbolism in it that we liked, and it was simple, easy to remember type of stuff. And it was the only one that kept lasting through all the rounds of eliminating the horrible ones. And
it kept burning, you could say.
Oh,
hey, there it is.
It's good. That was very good.
Kept burning. So yeah, there's the not mega interesting but true story.
Very cool name though.
Thank you.
Okay, so Sorrel.Evans had 3 questions actually.
Good.
First up, they said, "Are you gonna have a vinyl for the new album?"
Yes, we are. It's not going to, because of the pandemic. All vinyl makers and everything have been super
I
back.
heard about that. Yeah.
For like over a year, they're backed up. Wow. It's crazy.
So we tried to get the album done in time for a normal time frame that vinyl takes, and then we reached out to a bunch of vinyl companies, and they are all
they basically laughed at us. They were like,
there's no chance we're getting done by then.
They're like, we're still getting stuff from spring 2020. Like,
so we will absolutely have a vinyl for this album. For this coming show in a couple of weeks, we'll have pre-orders available for it. And then from then, we don't know when it'll be available, just because of all the delays and everything. But yes, we will absolutely have one.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Dude, you should
get my hands on one of them.
share the cool thing about our vinyl, about why people need to buy one.
Because it's cool.
So there will be an album or a vinyl exclusive song that you guys haven't even heard yet. Will be at the end of the vinyl only. What did you say, Brad?
He said suck us.
I said suck us. They think they've heard the whole album, but they haven't. Yeah, so it won't be available digitally.
I want to shout her out because of the amazing job that Katie did on our album art and what she's done to help design our album itself and all the artwork and the vinyl too and the CDs. Like, she's done just such an amazing job. Go check her out. I think it's Tragic Girls. Tragic Girls on Instagram. Yeah, Tragic Girls Co. Just to give her a shout out because she took these. We were like, we don't know what we want, and she's like, cool. She came up with the whole TV ideas and everything. Like,
it's been super fun to post, like, as it's evolved slowly. And by the time this podcast comes out, we'll probably have announced shown the final album artwork that encompasses all the songs.
That's awesome.
We've been
shout out Katie, Tragic Girls Co. Like, such an amazing job.
Shout her out. Yeah, we've been loving all the different artworks and what's going to be in the TVs next and all the colours and stuff. It's been really
such a cool
that was totally her idea, man.
This person also asked, what's your favourite venue to perform at?
Let's all say it individually. I'll start with mine because I know what it is first. For strictly venue speaking, Shuba's in Chicago. That was the first time I felt like a freaking rock star. Like, they had a shower in their green room. That was so cool. It was 3 stories underground.
Show is underrated.
And we played with a band from England, so it was really cool to experience that too. Yeah, I'll say that one if we can only choose one.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of some other ones, but I that one's great. I love that one.
Yeah.
I'm fine with us coming to a consensus on that one.
Amazing.
Nice. Yeah, and the last question from Sorrel was, if you could open for any band, who would it be and why?
I think one that we can all agree on is Group Love.
Yeah. Nice.
It would be so much fun just because of the energy that they put into their shows. We love playing with bands that challenge us on our energy. We played with The Collection, which I know you guys have featured before, and
they go so hard.
They've opened for us once where they were playing and we were watching them. We're like, we have to. It's very challenging to follow them up because of the energy that they have, and so it helps step up our game. So we'd love to play with a band that has just a crazy amount of energy because of how it forces us to have to step up our game and just put our all out.
But yeah, I think Group Love. I would also love to open for Manchester Orchestra. I think that'd be a really cool one.
Brad, have you got any?
Group Love's always been my go-to. I know this whole band is obsessed with the Front Bottoms, and I think they would be a blast to open for as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the end, I'd really rather just open for Coldplay or something, just because it
Yeah.
Would you though? Because
I'd love to see.
Who goes to like? No offense, I would never turn down a show with Coldplay, but people don't go to see the openers for Coldplay. You know what I mean? Like they go see like people haven't even shown up yet.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. If Coldplay called us today and they're like, "Hey, come open for us," I'm not going to say no
Chris,
to that.
get on the phone.
Yeah, Chris, hit it up. I know Chris frequents the Rainbird playlists.
Right, we've got Bugs Fiend on Discord asks, coffee is not really my cup of tea. But what is the story behind your Cinders afternoon blend coffee? I'm really tempted to give it a try. And can I just add that I also want to get my hands on that as well.
I was supposed to send you one, Beth. I'm so
Adrian,
sorry. We
I'm
talked
waiting.
about this. I totally spaced about that. I'll take the question because
one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll take this question since I'm the one that kind of...
You're the coffee guy, yeah?
I'm the coffee guy. Like I
Yeah.
said, I drank this whole French press during this interview.
You'll be proud to know that I love coffee now as well.
I'm so glad. Oh, yeah, that's for all you listeners. Beth and I, she, is British, so she likes her tea, and I'm American, so I like my coffee. But the whole story behind the coffee itself is we were kind of just looking for new things to really put out for this record, and there's a local shop called Blue Copper Coffee, the really cool dude. He knew Cinders, and so we reached out to him and we were like, hey, we just want something that's kind of cool and unique, and can we do a coffee blend through you? And he's like, that's such a cool idea. And he made these cool custom logos for it that go along with the album art. That is really cool. It's really good tasting coffee. It's like a Latin American coffee, if you know your Latin American coffee trades.
What's in it. You should say like what's
Coffee.
in it. Because doesn't it have like I know, but it has some like weird ingredients like orange or something in there, doesn't it?
Ooh.
Oh, so that's the Latin American profiles to it's it's a little more of it has like a citrusy, but it's also mixed with kind of a nutty taste. It's really good. I drink it very regularly. It was really cool to work with a local company, and they were super cool with us to get this going for us.
Yeah, support local businesses.
Yeah, support local business. Salt Lake Blue Copper Coffee.
Pretty soon we are gonna have Cinders pizza, frozen pizza, Cinders underwear, Cinders.
We talked about making socks for this new album.
Oh,
Cinders
that would be cute.
Vape mods, everything.
No, probably not that one.
I do like the sock idea. The sock idea would be awesome.
I've got a good idea ready for this. For no one's home, Cinders burglar alarms.
Oh.
Dude, that is a great idea. It's just Brad yelling, how far down is this rock bottom over and over and over again. But yeah, so that's the story behind the coffee.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then we had Mike Art Asso from Instagram ask...
Oh, dude, Michael, yeah, my boy.
Yeah, you know
I went to
him?
elementary school and middle school with him back in California.
He asked, what to you is the most challenging yet rewarding part of the creative/recording process?
Adrian, you answer since, like you said, it's your boy.
Dude.
It's your boy Mike.
Mike, yeah. Shout out Los Primeros. Sup, Mike? But it was the hardest and most rewarding part? Was that the question?
Yes.
The hardest part is being creative. I feel like all of us listen to so much music that we don't want to just be a ripoff of someone else. We don't want to be Coldplay, Twenty One Pilots, Group Love, whatever. Like, we want to be Cinders. So I think the hardest part is coming up with something that's original, but that also is in a timely manner. But that's also relatable. Because we don't want it to be like, wow, this is so unique, I don't like it, but also not this like, oh, this is a knockoff Imagine Dragons or whatever, but
it's a lot easier to be creative when you have the time because sometimes creativity just hits you randomly. And so if we had 10 years to make this album, it'd be like crazy easy because you just work on it when those creativity moments hit. But sometimes you just have to force yourself to be creative, and that's, for me at least, the hardest part.
Yeah, that's really hard. But I think the most rewarding is seeing people enjoy it, knowing the words. That's the most rewarding part for me. Is
sing along.
Just having people sing along,
I
man.
bet, yeah.
Like, that is the coolest feeling in the world, flying out to another country and having people from other countries sing along. We had this girl when we played DC, this girl that was an exchange student, I believe, from Japan, who she was like, you guys are my favorite band. And she didn't speak English super well, but she knew all the words to our songs. And that was just like the coolest feeling in the world.
We've had people message us and say what the music has helped them in their life and like how it's impacted them. And that just, sometimes they apologize, like, sorry for taking up your time, but it's like that. Dude, I could read those messages
all day,
every day.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
The last question from the community. Dennis from Instagram asked, this is quite a nice one to finish. He said, pick one word to describe your experience of being in Cinders so far.
One word?
One word.
Jeez.
I think we should each say one.
Brad's shook. He can't think.
Brad doesn't know. He's forgotten all words.
Do you have one, Montana?
I have one that has a hyphen.
That'll do.
I know what it's going to be.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
That's a good one, dude. That's just mind reader.
That's a very
completely
good
different
one.
life than I would have had without it. So that's the best way I can describe it. It's just life-changing.
That's a great one.
Mine would be rewarding. Just like
Not
you're
as good as
talking
mine,
about.
but it's okay.
You're right. You're totally right.
It's a step down. But
You're
it's all
totally right. It is a step down, but there's nothing that's going to beat life changing.
Brad's panicking.
Life-changing.
Brad's like life changing, rewarding. Cool.
Me. No.
Brad has one. Brad has one. It's going to be subpar.
Like literally just everything that encompasses Cinders in one word.
Yeah, Montana knocked it out of the freaking park with life changing. There's literally, we should have him go last.
Mine would be journey.
Oh, that's nice.
It's what it's been and it's what it is.
Life changing, journey, rewarding.
down here somewhere.
Yeah, it's just like boom, 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 way off the camera.
That's lovely, Brad.
Journey. There's so much to that word because it can be like journeys aren't always perfect. They go up and down. They have their lefts and rights, and they just,
It's not about the destination; it's the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's wrong? You're on fire today.
I am on fire.
Lyrics,
You should make those inspirational posters.
If you want any
just
bonus
photos
tracks,
of Alex.
just let me know. You know.
Yeah, there should be posters of Alex just sitting in random spots in your loft, just like ponder some, and it's just life changing.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
It's not about the destination.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would buy that poster. Him just sitting on your couch. That'd be great.
It's not about the journey. It is the journey.
What?
All right.
Yeah.
Brad just had to add that one in.
Making them.
Okay, so that's all our questions from the community. So we know you've got an album coming out very, very soon, but is there anything else that you guys can speak about that you're looking forward to and you're like planning and you're excited for in the future?
Hopefully we'll be coming out there sometime soon, man.
Yeah.
When the world
I hope so.
One word, touring. That's all we want to do.
Touring.
Yeah.
We just want to see new cities, see new places, and be in a van for 15 hours again. We miss it. Like, we just miss being
only
gross
15 hours now. That's 16th hour.
The 16th hour, yeah. Seeing people and meeting fans, and just like we just are, like Adrian said earlier, we're just hungry for it.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you guys again. Is there anything you guys wanted to add to the podcast that you wanted to say?
Thank you so much for having us. I love listening to these and seeing your guys' progression and whatnot. It's been so cool, and we love having you as friends and family, and thank you so much for what you've done to help grow our band. You know, we love you guys. And I will say this, like, with or without Alex Rainbird Music podcast, like, we love you guys as people, and just thank you so much for being our friends. Oh. Can't wait to talk about British Bake Off.
British Bake Off.
Check out the album August 27th, and then and we'll be playing a show August 28th in Salt Lake.
Amazing.
And hopefully sometime at a city near you.
And anyone listening that feels like nervous to message us, like, please follow us, please message us. We want to meet everyone and
we will get back to you. It's
Yeah.
We will get back to you, not we might. Like, we respond to everyone that messages
People
us.
that are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you responded. It's like, usually we're just like on the toilet or something like that.
Not usually.
we're just hanging out. Like, yeah, of course I'm going to message you back. We love talking to you guys. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of message
Yeah, a lot of
requests
messages
after this.
now.
So today, Cinders are performing Rock Bottom, which is their latest single, and it'll be featured on their new album, No One's Home, which is out on Friday the 27th of August. We can't wait, and I hope you enjoy.
Excited.
1, 2, 3, 4. Left myself defenseless once again. Just one thing after another. And how far down is this rock bottom? How far down is this rock bottom? Defenseless once again, just one thing after another. And how far down is this rock bottom? How far down is this rock bottom? Throw away my clothes and everything I own. When your head is turned around, feels like the sky is falling down. Just one thing after another. And how far down is this rock bottom? How far down is this rock bottom? Throw away my clothes and everything I own. When your head is turned around, feels like the sky is falling down. Left myself defenseless once again. Just one thing after another. And how far down is this rock bottom? How far down is this rock bottom? Throw away my clothes and everything I own. When your head is turned around, feels like the sky is falling. The sky is falling down. And the sky has fallen down.
So, thank you so much for joining us, Montana, Brad, Adrian. You've kind of spoken about this just a minute ago, but where's the best place for people to find you and connect with you guys online?
Instagram, Twitter, everything is just at Cinders Music.
Nice and easy.
MySpace, Zanga.
Yeah.
No. We're on TikTok. Yeah, anything at Cinders Music. You can find us there.
Cinders with a C, if you haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching the video version on Patreon, thanks so much. A huge thanks for supporting us on there. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening so you never miss a future episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and join our Discord server as well, where we announce our next podcast guest and you get all the exclusive content. All that's left to say is we love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
It's been so fun.
We can't wait to see you. It's meant a lot speaking to you today. We're very proud of you. So
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Seriously, we
Thank
love
you
you so
guys.
much.
of course.
Love you guys. See you, dudes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.